Okay, welcome back, folks. So we've got another game with Red, and this one is also pretty even for the most part. There's just a couple of decisions that he makes that kind of cost him the game, but uh, it is what it is. So the opening deployment, I'm going to focus on the south. I usually go for the plains in south, and I build tanks. However, what happens here is that once I see that he withdraws his line in the south to the forest line. That's when I switch to going to lights because this area here usually people won't give up the flank because they want to play a tank battle. So they want to open plains to be open and then just go in with what they've got. But in this case here, because of the way that red redeployed, I switched my strategy and then we went with that. Now, a mini micro battle happens in the center. So I'm quite happy with what happened in the southern flank here, with how he withdrew. So it makes my micro much easier. So I'm going to start two battles and we're going to micro two battles simultaneously. I do not recommend doing this if you're a new player, and I don't recommend doing this if you're not that fast. Now, I'm not fast at all, right? I can't play StarCraft. I am complete trash at that game, but I can play Company of Heroes 2. I was actually not bad at that game. And the reason why is because Company of Heroes 2, when you compare it to like other RTS games, there's not as much that you need to handle, like base building and just the number of units that you have available and the amount of abilities that you need to keep track of and cycle through. No, Company of Heroes 2 is like on the lower end of what you need in terms of like APM. In this game, it's quite similar to Company of Heroes 2, just because you can see the whole map at the same time. Because normal RTS games, you're limited in your field of view, so you've got to keep on like switching your camera angles all over the place. Otherwise, you might miss a firefight and just like lose an entire flank. So in this game, like you do need fast hands, but you don't need like as fast hands. Like the skill ceiling is much lower, so it's more doable. If you're not that good in like normal RTS games, this game is it'll be fine for you, right? You just need to get practice and experience, and the APM will just come. And like I said, you don't need as much APM as like you do in like StarCraft. So we are winning the battle in the south. We're cycling our units. We got lots of armor. We're trying to keep the armor on the plains tiles. So, it's the same thing that's happening in the middle here. I'm keeping my tanks and cycling them on the plains tiles, which is near the shore. Now, he makes a very big mistake here with his naval invasion. If you're playing on like new players or you're just starting out, naval invasions are like really strong because a lot of times people don't keep their rear cities garrisoned. But I'm not a new player. And the moment I see his troops deploying there, I get my armor unit ready to roll. And basically, I keep the armor unit as close as I can to the shoreline here. And there's nothing he can do. We've got an infantry unit on the city, on our side of the shore. He's going to be out of supply soon. There's not much he can do. On the same time, on the southern side, we've managed a breakthrough. But I overextend because I'm trying to micro on two ends. So I make a mistake here. But I do manage to rectify the mistake. I think I lose tank. Yeah, I lose a tank. We almost cap the city. Now we reconnect because he's collapsed in this center line here. And now we commit a full frontal assault. A couple of more disconnects here and there, but we've encircled his main force and they're getting slaughtered. Even though we lost our tank, we got very good trades against his light unit in the city there, so it wasn't like that big of a loss. But yeah, the game is basically over. We have a 80,000 advantage in terms of troops, in terms of casualties. Oh, that's a lot of casualties. But yeah, now we're trying to go in for the bridges here, try to cut off his escape. But what I thought was going to be escape, it wasn't. It wasn't escape. It was actually him collapsing towards his city here. So it was like a counterattack. So I get encircled for a brief moment there. But yeah, because I pushed the front line forward once I see the opportunity. Yeah, there wasn't much he could do. And you can see here in the forest, lots of battles between light infantry and tanks, and the light infantry is coming out on top. Just because tanks are fighting in the forest, we have a massive advantage, and we can basically run them down, even though they're trying to fight a retreating holding action. It's still very much in our favor, and then he concedes the game there. So there's that. Closer battle compared to some of my earlier videos, and lots of good strategic lessons that you can learn here.